Something about the way we were building our architecture didn't sit right with me.
On-chain is the world that's your oyster. So you can lend and borrow, you can
We've noticed
swap,
hundreds of millions of stable coins just kind of sitting there, not being
hold
productive.
and store digital wallets.
very
How can we
difficult
enable them to
optimization
earn
problem.
yield?
When you work in interop, at first everything feels exciting. You got new chains, new protocols, and new primitives that appear almost weekly. Your job is to make them composable, is to connect them, to make them usable. But over time, I started noticing patterns in how we were connecting things. It worked, but it felt wrong. At LI.Fi, every new integration meant deploying new smart contracts. If a partner, for example, needed a new custom flow, that usually meant that more hands-on work was needed to extend those contracts. And over time, the complexity kept increasing with every integration. You get more surface area, more parameters, and more special cases. We were solving orchestration problems, but architecturally, we were drifting towards protocol design. That's part of the reason why we opened the R&D department. We needed to step back and think about what we were doing and building from first principles. In reality, if you don't periodically question your own architecture, you eventually become trapped by it. When the thought really started to crystallize, I was in Japan. Being physically away from the day-to-day changes how you think. And instead of asking, how do we improve this contract? I started asking, why are we deploying contracts in the first place? So I started writing down some constraints. If LI.Fi truly is an orchestration company, then protocol integrations shouldn't really dictate contract deployments. What should be stable is execution environments. What should change is the programs that these environments run. Once all of these constraints were clear, we knew we needed a new model. So the idea that emerged was pretty straightforward. If deploying logic every time creates some sprawl, maybe you stop deploying logic. Maybe you deploy an execution environment. What changes at that point is not the contract itself, but is the program that is being run. 2 days later, we had a crude prototype of a virtual machine. That was the genesis of Composer. We felt that it was unfeasible to rewrite the whole integration landscape of LI.Fi as a research exercise. It was just unrealistic. So we decided to look for a narrow but meaningful problem that we could solve in the DeFi space. One of the ideas that we had was that cross-chain deposits were kind of a right example. They provided a good sandbox. They require composition, simulation, understanding the side effects, and if you can solve cross-chain deposits in a programmable deterministic way, you have proven that your architecture works. Not just for one flow, for any flow. 6 months later, we did a soft launch.
So with LI.FI Composer, we set out to set this mission of multi-chain composability, because composability is so dear to our heart when it comes to smart contract-enabled development, right? We were like, okay, composability, especially in the EVM context, so important.
Composer is now live and is working in production. The first consumer of Composer is Jump and Earn today, and it makes things significantly simpler for this end user. What used to require many clicks across different platforms can now be done in one single place. And from a developer's point of view, this is where it gets interesting. The project really unlocked a new way to interact with more matters on-chain. You don't need extra infrastructure, and you don't need new smart contract deployments. It's a true playground for users, businesses, and nowadays, automated agents alike. The innovation doesn't end here. Composer really isn't the product, it's the substrate. And we're just at the beginning of the future of LI.FI. It's a future where we can power any action on any chain.